It is Sunday, May the 29th, 2022. Welcome to the Zodiac Chatline. I'm your host today. As always, I have the lovely Cassie with me. Girl, we about to hit June.
I can't believe it. I really cannot believe it. You were saying in the lead up, I can't believe where this year is gone. Where is it going? Where has it gone? Where
Have,
even is it?
no,
Like,
have we actually experienced it or experienced so much of it that it's like, honestly though, the past 3 weeks, I felt this whole
year.
I've definitely felt this whole year. I have very much felt eclipse season, but I'm a fixed sign, so I guess it's gonna be. Shout out to my Tauruses and Scorpios with you. And also my Leos, all the fixed energy, but the Taurus and Scorpio, it's on their axis, and so we did have the Taurus partial solar eclipse, and then like 2 weeks ago or last week we had the Scorpio full moon. So I feel like for a lot of people that even weren't of those signs, we all felt a lot of energy, a lot of shifts. Personally, I have really been overwhelmed with a lot of the feelings of just watching all the things happen around me. Like, I'm not numb to any of the realities that we are facing right now every day. And I am glad to be part of a collective that I sense is also like, this shit ain't cool. We gotta
Yeah.
readjust. So, Mercury retrograde is almost over. I think that's.
Yeah, guys. It's been hard. It's been hard to be a human in the world, in America, especially in the past like 3 weeks. And coincidence or no, you know where we stand. The planets also have been on some fuck shit for that period. And, I encourage everybody to be gentle with themselves, give yourself as much rest as you can. It's hard to not despair when things are terrible. But know that despair only serves your enemies. It really does. Like, it's not, seek help if you are really feeling like you're drowning in, dark feelings. But like, if you are just tempted to stay in dark feelings, try as much as you can to find a way to work and have hope and feel grateful. And because that is a revolutionary act in fucked up times, is maintaining hope and working,
And talking it out. I mean, we are in Gemini season. We do have a beautiful Gemini, excuse me, y'all, beautiful Gemini new moon tomorrow. And so, with that, get creative. Write out your feelings. Like, Geminis rule the third house and communication, and it rules siblings and close relationships. And so all the things that you're feeling right now with everything that has transpired, write it out, talk it out. That's the only way that you can make sense of it all. You can keep it inside, but you're only really talking to yourself, and we know she on some shit sometimes. So you gotta find some real balance and get a reflection by getting it out and hearing it out loud. I'm a huge fan, I've said this before, of audio journaling and being able to kind of talk it out that way, but expressing it, and even though Gemini is a very social and social media type of energy, there may be times where you need to check out of social media right now, because it can be like bombarded and inundated with so much stuff.
Yeah.
And it's real, not to say that we don't want to continue to fight for gun laws and Black Lives Matters and women's right and all of those things, but sometimes it can be overwhelming, and you definitely want to give yourself a moment to take a step back. But we want to have fun this Gemini season. I know that sounds weird with everything that's going on, but at some point, being social and trying to find your own community and working with other people who are feeling the same way you're feeling is going to help you kind of work through this, because I promise you, you're not alone. You're not alone. The truth of it is there are more of us than there are of them, and that's what's terrifying. That is what's the most terrifying, is that there are more of us who feel the way we feel and who think like not completely opposite of what they think, and it terrifies them for us to communicate, and that's exactly what we need to do. We have a lot of
Absolutely.
planets. We have a lot of good planets in their placements, Venus and Taurus, so it's really nice. It's in its home placement of Taurus. It does also rule Libra, but it rules Taurus first, and that's just beauty and luxury and really sensuality and really feeling like genuine love and beauty. And so really seek that out. Seek that out in yourself, seek that out in others. That's, that's, we have to look at those energies right now because it's been a rough couple weeks, y'all. Ain't no lie.
It has, but I think, I won't say that the light is at the end of the tunnel, because this is, all of these struggles are ongoing and seemingly never ending in this country, but whatever. Moving past that, like you said, there's planets moving into comfortable placements or have already. So we have the new moon in Gemini tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So write it out, speak it into existence, as Belda said. Channel that mercurial communicative energy of Gemini season, in both the moon and the sun, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then Venus in Taurus, cute. You have Venus prominent in your chart. Just get into those vibes, those loving self-love vibes. Love thy enemy, love the world. Remind yourself that you can, feel love. But we've got Mars and Aries too. And that is telling you, if you have Mars prominent in your chart, to get spicy, and maybe you will find some action worth taking, and you should go ahead and do that, because fuck it, the universe has your back, So it's especially once Mercury goes direct on June 3rd, on Friday of this week, because time, you'll really find yourself in a position, I think, to feel like you you have the wind in your sails, right? Like you can do the things that you want to do and take action where you need to.
And knock if you buck, yes, man. You gotta be guilty. She's right. And also with the Gemini energy, use your curiosity to its best. Really, really be curious. Ask a lot of questions, and ask the right questions. And don't be afraid to ask too many questions. That's Gemini is known. So question everything. That's okay. And like Cassie said, it's really nice to have those planets going into their home placements. And Neptune is still in Pisces, a good placement for that.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a lot of the energy kind of shifting back to settling in a way, but good old Saturn's going to hit that retrograde on Saturday, in Aquarius. And Cassie and I were talking about this earlier, and I feel currently we have Pluto retrograding in Capricorn, which is like transforming authority, which we all can see right now before our eyes. And now Saturn's going retrograde in Aquarius. And for Saturn, Aquarius is one of its former Aquarius. Let me try this again. Saturn is Aquarius's original ruler before Uranus, and so that Saturn energy is very helpful for this Saturn retrograde to think outside of the box for more creative solutions on how to restructure authority and how to kind of take down the man, if you will.
Rewrite the rule book.
And that's clearly what we have to do, because our rule book is from 1776, and what is that? So just weird, it's because
George Washington had wood teeth, you guys.
People like
have
me
moved on.
We couldn't do this, so I think we should adjust with the times, and using Aquarius energy to be innovative, thinking outside the box, using technology, all of those things. But I encourage all of you at this point in your life to really look at yourself in perspective to humanity and how you want to live your life. How do we want to actually see our lives be lived out? This is not what we want to see. What we're watching on TV, what we're reading in the news, that's not the life that we all want to live, and none of us can say that it is. So with that said, though, we're going to go ahead and pump it up with our guest.
Yay! Yes!
So, Cassie, tell us about our guest.
All right. Tonight, guys, we are talking to Emily. Emily is an Aries sun, Aries Pisces cusp, a Leo moon, and a Gemini rising. Oh, hey, girl,
Yes,
hey.
girl. Hey.
Hey.
She said, hey.
Thank you for joining us. How are you in
I'm
these
awesome.
times? Good,
I'm
good.
honestly like coming out of the last couple of years, I've just really started to kind of own myself and get to a place where I feel professionally successful. And I'm in my 30s now, which has really made a huge difference in becoming a whole person. So I really do feel like even though things have been super, super crappy, like, and difficult overall, I'm thriving in what are very dark times.
We
Well,
love to
all
see
right.
it. We love to hear it and see it. That's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah. Thriving in dark times is the best thing we can do. You got to keep moving forward.
Yep.
Um, so what do you know about astrology? And how do you relate to being an Aries?
So I really don't know a lot about astrology other than generally I'm pretty familiar, I guess, with the overall, like if somebody tells me their birthday, I can kind of figure out what sign they might be and then some of the kind of, I guess, stereotypical traits of my own sign, Aries. And like my whole life, if I've had a horoscope, like read one on the internet or, whatever, they've always been super accurate to how I am. And, I kind of feel called out a lot when I read them. I'm like, do other people know that about me? you know?
Yep.
But yeah, it's always been super accurate. So every time I watch your guys' show, I'm like listening in, to kind of hear, who do I know that has that sign? Are they like that? Oh my God,
Mm.
they're nailing it. So
Thank
Oh, I
you.
love that. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
So what aspects of Aries do stereotypes or whatever, do you relate to?
The stubborn, like headstrong, gotta learn the hard way, do it yourself, learn from your own mistakes and not from the mistakes of others. um, just, that the fiery energy of kind of being the center of attention without intending to my whole life, being too loud or, opinionated, always talking too much or saying, just too much of the wrong thing. So, yeah, but I
Touche.
hear all the other Aries are like that too. So I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one.
You're not wrong.
No,
Your
no.
words,
You
not
kind of
ours.
you kind of just, you know yourself. You're nailing it. And with an Aries sun and the Leo moon, you are nailing it. When you said center of attention but not trying to be, it's fine, girl. We'll keep your secret. Um, so with that, they are celebrating over here in my neighborhood. I'm in Atlanta. Not that much though. Okay, sorry. So she says shoot first, ask questions, and then the gunshots goes off. Thanks, gotta be golden. Okay, sorry.
Mm.
So a couple things. One, we do like to kind of divide your zodiac up into like the week you were born, and you actually happen to be born on the cusp of Pisces and Aries, the cusp of rebirth. So you're at the end and the beginning of the zodiac, and I love the energy that this brings because it's like achieving everything at the end and then starting afresh right in the beginning, and you get to work with that balance. You're right in the beginning of Aries, and so my question to you, because you have your sun in what we call the 11th house, normally ruled by Aquarius, but community is, how have you found community?
I found community through my work. The company that I've worked for 7 years is super oriented with the communities where their locations are because they are a family business that's expanded hugely over the 30 years that they've been open to 65 locations, but they're in historic places often. But getting engaged in like fundraising with the community, getting to know the organizations that are, the local nonprofits that are looking for funding. Just these last few months, we were able to raise, well, last week, we had a $2,000 donation at my location for a local sports organization for two of the rural towns here. And then a few months previously, the local swim club, we raised $2,600 for them. And you get to know like the people who are running these organizations, who are involved with the families who need this funding and need somewhere for their kids to go, stuff to do in these pretty isolated rural Oregon towns. So it's been super awesome because being in the position that I'm in, I get to meet these people and like see what they get to do with this funding and be a part of it and be a part of this town that otherwise, it used to be super small. It's getting bigger, but it's fun.
I
I
love
like
it.
it.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's awesome. That really, with the sun in the 11th house, the communities and the groups that you are a part of are one of the biggest parts of your identity. The sun is your sign that everyone knows. And it represents your ego, basically. And, you're the self you present to the world. Your moon, as he alluded to in Leo, represents your emotional self, which we'll get a little more info on your Leo moon. And then you have a Gemini rising, which is kind of like your first impression to the world. Sometimes it's kind of how the world receives you when you first come onto the scene. And so you're very in that position is very group oriented as well. And it's very much about, like you said, making connections and having conversations with the people around you. So all of that is you harmonizing with the energy that already exists in your chart, right? Like if you were to say working in a work from home position where you didn't really like a call center or something, we would be like, you should go find a group
Yeah.
that you
Right.
can be a part of, because that's what you need to be doing. But you're already there, so that's great.
Awesome.
So you want to talk about the Saturn return?
Sure, let's do that.
Okay.
So, for the folks, in the audience who've never heard us talk about this before, your Saturn return is when the Saturn comes back to the sign it was in when you were born. And it happens for everyone sometime between their 28th and 30th birthday. And Saturn, it takes about 2.5, 3 years to transit a particular zodiac sign. So it stays there for a while. And Saturn is father karma in the zodiac. So Saturn teaches us lessons. Forces us to tests our boundaries for us also. And for you have Saturn in Aquarius, and today was talking about this at the top of the hour. Saturn is comfortable in Aquarius, but Saturn in Aquarius is also very tuned into humanity. And I imagine for most people who have Saturn in Aquarius, something that happens to them in their life is they become aware of the systems that govern us as a whole and want to rebel against it somewhat. They don't like being forced to conform, and they don't want the status quo just because it's the status quo. If they end up wanting the status quo, it's because they questioned it and realized it was right for them. You know what I'm saying? So when Saturn goes back to where it was when you were born, you get tested in all these different ways. And for you, Saturn went into Aquarius, where it was when you were born, in March of 2020. So you have Saturn in the 10th house of career. So what has been going on? How have things been tested for you, career or otherwise, since March of 2020?
Wow. What a question. I mean, it's really like creepily accurate because in March of 2020, right before the pandemic really kicked off, I was really questioning, like, what am I doing with my life? Have I gotten myself to where I want to be for the age that I'm at. You know, do I make enough money? Blah, blah, blah. All those things people question constantly. So I was actually thinking about leaving the company that I was working for at the time. And because I was just super burned out working in the position that I was working in. I was a pub manager at a resort location and just exhausted all the time from just working, and managing so many employees. But it's fun, so I've just always stayed. Well, then the pandemic started and I got laid off. And our whole company got laid off and we went dark for like 30 days. And just to give everybody an opportunity to be home, when everyone was isolating, you know, like the whole world was shutting down and people were closing their doors left and right. And then while I was isolating, I just really was missing it. You know, I was like, I had this awakening, which I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that like I missed being connected to what I was doing. I really realized like I loved my job. I loved the people that I worked with. And coming back into that, like a month in, they kind of called us all back in. Oregon had a lot of regulations regulating the restaurant industry, starting with outdoor dining only, regulations to the outdoor structure, sizes, number of walls your tent could have, if you could get your hands on a tent, you know, things that made it even harder to operate the restaurant than previously. And so just moving through those stages, like the constant regulation shifts, Oregon had like different benchmarks for caseloads, and they would jerk us up and down these different warning levels and regulate the restaurant differently on any different set of weeks over the course of a year and a half before everything kind of smoothed out. And then during all of this, I had just changed locations. I was brand new. I had only been at that location 6 months at that time. My mother-in-law got sick. My dog died. And then I got, like, I guess a year in, randomly promoted. The position above mine came up, and I had been working towards that position with the company for years and years, and finally moved up into that position, and it wasn't easy. It was a really difficult transition. A lot of politics and things that went into that. And ultimately, you know, the right decision was made, and I am in that position now and I'm loving it. But it was like, well, and on top of all this, 2 weeks into my position, my company suffered a ransomware attack. And so we went dark, like old diner style service, writing your tickets on carbon copies, taking them to the kitchen, having a handwritten checkout for your server reports, no email access. And this is a company that employs thousands of people with over 60 locations across 2 states. And we couldn't communicate with one another. I mean, 2021 to 2022, it's been crazy in the career communication. Like, I mean, the fact that this has been happening during, you know, a significant astrological period of my life is not shocking to me at all. But the fact that I'm just now finding out about it, you know, 2+ years in, I'm like, someone could have told me this. It would have made a lot more sense.
The good news is,
makes sense now. Makes sense now.
You're coming into the end of it. So because it started in March 2020, it's going to wrap up in March of 2023. We're going to deal with one retrograde in there, I think, still before. Oh yeah, it's Saturn retrograde.
No, that's what that's what I was going to say. So there may be another kind of
hiccup
for whatever is happening within your career, but I think it's going to give you a good time to reset and really decide how you want to proceed forward, because you're probably at another crossroads without realizing you're at a crossroad in your career. So
that makes sense. Aren't we always all at a crossroad in our career?
I think so. I think it's just the crossroads of life. Like
all of us are always at a crossroad, whether we want to admit it or not.
We got it. Yeah.
That's fascinating, though. It's very interesting that it has lined up that way. And what a weird layer, COVID layering on top of it. Just
Yes.
so much going on. But you have very strong career oriented energy in your chart. So, that Saturn in Aquarius in their 10th house is a powerful placement because Saturn would naturally fall into the 10th house because 10th house is associated with Capricorn. And then you also have your North Node, which we speak about a lot on this show, and that's your kind of karmic destiny. Your North Node is also in Capricorn, and Capricorn is big boss energy. So whatever you want to be, career-wise, you can be. But it's interesting to me because I think it's great to feel very close to your coworkers and your team and your company, and to feel a sense of community with them. But part of your, when we think about our North Node, we have to consider our South Node. So the South Node is the energy you're comfortable in that you kind of need to leave behind to fulfill your karmic destiny. And for you, your South Node is in Cancer. And so a very comfortable place for you is taking care of everybody and being the mom in situations.
Ouch.
And taking care of everybody's feelings.
Called out.
Listen,
Yeah,
I got a lot of Cancer placements too. I feel you. The struggle is real. But to fulfill your destiny, I mean, part of it is having to have boundaries with folks, and to think about. I often think about this. I think our millennials and Gen Zers are well suited to not get into a relationship with their company, because most of us have had to change jobs a lot. But I think it's so fulfilling to work for a company that you like, that values you. And I want to, as long as I have to be employed by companies, I want to work for those type. But I always have to remember to keep a little distance between me and the company, because at the end of the day, they will do to you what they need to do. And you should also, at the end of the day, do what you need to do, right? Career wise, whatever,
Yes.
like if you see something, if you feel compelled to move it, you try something different, like know that you don't owe anyone you've ever worked for anything.
Yes.
Other than the work you already gave them.
Yes, that's very wise advice.
Which is a appropriate transaction, but like then it's, you got to do you.
And that's the thing with having that much Capricorn energy, because that is a slow and steady. Like that is, the Capricorn is ruled by the goat, so they're going to take their time. It could take them years to get it, but they're going to take their time to get it. But Capricorns also have really good professional boundaries due to the fact that Capricorns, if it's not making them money, don't talk to them about it. they not concerned. They not concerned. They like, I mean, whatever. They not concerned. So with you having your moon in Leo and having your South Node in Cancer, that's a lot of feelings. Okay?
That is.
It's a lot of feelings. And you feel all of the things. And so you feel towards your job, you feel towards your family. And it's kind of, I think sometimes there's a pull of you trying to balance that out, but learning to set healthy boundaries for both sides, because you don't want to give too much one way and then not give enough the other way, or give too much to the wrong, sacrifice your family for all your work, accomplishments that you're trying to achieve, or sacrifice work for just trying to make your family. There has to be a balance. Got to be Goldie said, boundary seems to be the theme of every episode. Usually, for a general consistency, I think that healthy boundaries for every single human is the best thing that could ever exist for you.
True.
But as Jam Rocket said, professional boundaries are so important. And as Cassie said before, they are, because at the end of the day, God forbid something happens to you, girl, your position will be put right on Indeed.com. So,
and I think a lot of people struggle with that separation because of the desire to excel. Like you want to do so well that you feel like you need to be that committed to it. But the reality is like, that's not my life. Even if it takes up a lot of my time in my life is what I do when I'm not there.
Yeah.
And that's just a means to sustaining my existence. And it could be anything that I do.
Exactly.
I just think we're wired. We're wired to have that value, that the value of you as a human being is in the way that you make your money.
Yeah, because you know
But that's just BS.
how you get introduced. It's like, oh, what do you do? Everybody's like, oh, what do you do? That's like the
Yeah.
first question, like trying to quantify how much they
Yes.
can respect you based on what career or job you have.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot
Yep.
of times you realize those people just signed up for a job that's not really who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's a very certainly in our American capitalist society a very difficult thing to disentangle yourself from,
Yes.
that you are more than what you do for a living. Let's talk a little bit about your Leo moon, because you kind of brought it up with the oh gosh, I'm trying to think what exact quote you said. Feeling like it's, important to do your best all the time. That was giving me big Leo moon energy. Today, what do you think about a Leo moon? What are the defining characteristics of a Leo moon?
So I think Leo moons, it's a little difficult because Leos are normally ruled by the sun and the moon is the opposite, right? And so if a Leo moon, I feel like a Leo moon is just as moody as a Cancer moon, just in a different way. A Leo moon, the acknowledgement and the praise and the feeling like you love me is necessary, because any other validation doesn't matter. You have to, and especially from, I feel like for you, it is especially from your family and your intimate partners, like more so because it's in the fourth house, that like it is necessary that the people in your home love and worship you in their own way. Oops, did I? Guys, when you hear the giggle and you don't hear nothing else, somebody didn't so.
It's true.
But Leos give as much of that as they
absolutely.
want to receive, right? They are the
Absolutely.
first, and especially a Leo moon is the first to lavish upon their loved ones praise and worship, and just be a warm ball of fire for them as much as they possibly can. And Leos are fixed sign. They're the fixed fire sign. All fixed signs are very set, loyal. They're set on their path. They are stubborn, but they're very loyal. And Leos, more than any of them, I would say, embody the trait of loyalty. So once you've let someone into your heart, they have a piece of you, and you will love them forever. But they need to just, remind you every now and then that you're that bitch.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Just you're that bitch. So that's good.
Thank you.
Yes, girl. You got it, girl. I'm gonna make sure to light that fire in your heart. I got you. From one fire moon to another. Yes, give me that. I was gonna ask you, how do you balance your work and home life?
So I have a rule that honestly I feel is a gift from my superior, but I don't read my emails when I'm not at work, and I don't respond to anything unless I get a direct phone call. So that was a huge boundary for me, because previous bosses of mine have required, almost, said without saying, that you had to know what was going on so much that you had to be just clicked on all the time. And I think something that came out of the service industry going through the pandemic that changed everything was just the idea that, we were all giving too much of ourselves, and at every level. And so now it's literally like, if I'm not there, I'm not there. And unless somebody calls me and alerts me that I need to turn on and emotionally be there for them and give myself to that, then I won't. Because otherwise, if I'm not off when I'm not there, I can't be fully on when I'm there. And that's the same thing that I try to tell everyone else is like, y'all have to turn off, because otherwise you're not on. So
Yeah.
Listen,
I
why are you
try to do
preaching?
the
Look
same
at your
thing for
Saturn
myself.
return. Preaching and
Yeah.
testifying for yourself, girl. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm loving it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's actually amazing that you figured that out already. Like, it's almost like, why are we even talking to you? Like, you know yourself. Duh. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I would like to, before we hop in this, just kind of go over a little bit of your North Node, unless you had something else you wanted to say, Cass.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm here for this. Yep.
Okay. So, as we talked about, it's the way of mastery. And what I like about the North Node in this is that, as I said before, Capricorns do take their time. And the one thing about this particular karmic path is that it asks for you to find a mentor. So, whatever that mastery is, whatever you decide, but seeking a mentor to kind of help you go with that. And then the goal is to master a craft or art,
Oh.
whatever that is to you. I also encourage you to find some sort of, I don't know if you have it, we didn't really get a chance to talk about it, but just creativity in your own way, like how you can express yourself creatively and using that as well outside of, separate from work, like for you as a, soothing method. I don't know. Your release is the tendency of workaholism. What? No,
Wow.
not you.
I know.
But the reward is perfecting your craft. Your gifts are diligent, persistent, and persuasive. Your pitfalls can be domineering, insecure, and solitary. The balance point is craft and inspiration. A suggestion: try to be kinder to yourself by occasionally lowering your standards. Um, Remember to indulge in fantasy and to cultivate your imagination once in a while. And then your crystal and gemstone is fluorite. It dispels ambivalence and encourages the individual to joyfully strive for mastery. This crystal helps one to move beyond the limits of perfectionism to experience the bliss of the mind and heart connection. The stone affirmation is: my mind and heart are awake, alert, clear, and active, working in unison to make the optimal choices for my life purpose. So that's the mind,
Ooh.
the heart are awake, alert, clear, and active. All of that. And that goes
Awake.
well with your Aries, your Leo, your Gemini, all of that just kind of working in tandem together. And I promise you, at the end of your Saturn return, so at the end of the Saturn retrograde, when the Saturn return, you usually reap the gifts afterwards. And so all of the lessons that you have learned over these past 2.5 years are going to feel so good at the end of it, because you will have been tested beyond what you thought you could be tested. And you're like, whoa, I'm way stronger than this. And for you, obviously, it will be in your career. So good job, Emily.
Thank
You're doing it. You're doing
Yes,
it,
you
girl. You're doing it,
are. You
girl.
are.
Yep. Come so far from being that little server at Tijuana Garage.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know. We were just talking about that. I was like, she was the one that just had the most sense. Like she
Yeah, youngest and the most sense.
had
Who
the
would have
most
thought?
sense.
Oh man. Yep.
Okay.
All right,
So,
Cassie is, this is all, I'm going to give Cassie all the props for this game. So Cassie is going to play this game with you. I'm going to watch in awe while you guess them all correctly. But she has done amazing research. So here we go. Go for it. Let's kick it.
we'll see. Okay. So, we are reviving Blame It On Your Big Three. This is going to be Blame It On Your Big Three Pokemon edition. So, none of us here at the chat line knew shit about fuck about Pokemon. Okay. But your girl dove in to the interwebs, and I'm going to give you a Pokemon, and you're going to tell me if it represents your Aries sun, your Leo moon, or your Gemini rising. So we didn't talk too much about your Gemini rising. So some characteristics to keep in mind: very chatty. That's the part of your personality that comes off really friendly, that can talk to anybody, and knows what to say at the right time. But sometimes they do say too much sometimes. So okay. So forgive me again if I have gotten these way wrong. You may take issue
That's
with
okay.
the
You
choices I
probably know
made.
more than I do.
Okay, so your first one is Charizard.
Okay. I think Charizard would be the Aries sun.
That is what I picked. Yes, because it
Yes,
said
girl.
Charizard was always ready to fight. He's a fire Pokemon, but he does not pick on weaker ones. I liked that. I was like, all right, that seems very Aries energy, and especially with your Pisces cusp there. Okay, Pikachu.
Ooh, it's hard. I feel like it's a cross between the Aries and the Leo because it's
Ooh,
like that, emotional, caring, but also fiery, ready to go. Like Pikachu's very complicated.
okay. I knew I was taking a risk in picking Pikachu because I know you are a big fan
Pikachu's
of.
all three.
Okay, yes, Pikachu is your spirit Pokemon girl. So I actually had him for the Gemini Rising, and it was because he stores electricity in his cheeks. And Gemini's great power is, from their ability to chat. So that's why I picked that one.
Yeah.
All right, and so then that leaves Vulpix.
Ooh, Vulpix. I think Leo.
Yes, the hair, the all the tails,
Yeah.
and possesses a flame that never goes out, which is that fixed Leo fiery energy. But
Never.
excellent job, nailed the Pokemon. I'm so glad you got there with me.
We are, you don't even know, because we're like, what are we gonna do? And Cassie's like, I got this. I said, okay, girl.
I
And
was like,
you
I'm
did
gonna have to
that.
do some research,
It
but
was amazing. We loved it. Do you want to promote anything for yourself? Let us know about you.
Nothing for myself, but for anyone
Okay,
who's
girl.
local to Atlanta, Cat Hair Vintage, my friend Robin, she runs a vintage store through Instagram that donates 100% of their profits to different Atlanta nonprofits. And she's a frequent supporter of the free 99 fridge, which I know you guys had talked about on one of your shows recently.
Yes,
Um, she's
we stand free 99 friends.
Yeah,
we
I just think that the mutual aid movement that's going on down there is really amazing, and so Cat Hair Vintage has been a huge part of that. She started doing some pop-up markets. I'm not super familiar with all of them because I'm living way out here, but if anybody has a chance to check out her page, she does a lot of sales. She ships and that does local pickup of really awesome vintage clothing that she sources at thrift
yes.
stores or through donation. And then all the profits go to really amazing different nonprofit organizations or sometimes direct aid to people who are in need.
Is
So
it cat hair like the animal or like the
yeah, like
girl?
cat hair vintage. Yeah.
Okay. Chris is saying hello to you. He is Red Jones.
Hey, Chris.
I am.
Robin is amazing, and her Cat Hair Vintage has gorgeous, cute pieces. I follow her,
Awesome.
so that is a great call.
We will support. We'll drop it in there so you guys can go
Yes,
follow, give her a follow. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
yes,
This was
We
so
had so
fun.
much fun with you.
Loving your
Um,
wonderful.
insight.
so here comes the time when we kick you out, but you can hop back in at any
Yeah,
time, okay?
All right.
sorry, this is just it just has to be like that. So
Bye.
good talking to you. Bye. Oh man,
Thank you
love
guys.
Okay,
feisty,
there we
of
go.
course. Thank you.
Yes.
A feisty Aries queen. We stand.
Listen, 2 weeks in a row, huh?
Yes.
we can do. We listen. We'll
Aries
keep
wasn't
it up.
about to let Leo dominate our the chat line guest
No,
list.
but currently Leo is dominating the chat as always. We love our Leos though. We
We
stand
do.
them. We keep
We
them.
do.
We keep
Mhm.
them really close. We give them all the love they need.
That's
We love you.
right.
We love you, little
You
cuddlies.
guys have
Look,
the best
look,
hair.
another Leo just joined. Yes, give it up.
Yes.
Give it up for the Leo. Look, y'all season is coming. Okay, we know y'all coming. We know. We know
We're
y'all
gonna
can do somebody say Leo, girl. I cannot today. Oh, my chest. Oh, my
Oh,
chest.
that's amazing. All
All
right, we're
right.
gonna dive
Well,
in.
yeah, we're gonna hit some questions.
Yes.
Go
If
for it.
we once again did not say this, but if you all have a
Yeah.
question, please drop it in the chat. But we have some questions from the peeps. So,
Yes.
music lover 3889 coming through. All right. So, even if person A is able to cover up their emotions, is it possible for person B to pick up on their energy regardless?
Honestly, I feel that if you're in tune with the person, you're going to pick up on energy no matter. Signs don't matter for this for me. For me, this is all just energy in general. And if you're in tune just with being in tune, you can tell things are moving. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like you
Mm-hmm.
can be like, "You all right?" You know what I'm saying? But I feel that other some signs probably are more intuitively may pick up on more energy shifts rather than like body language, I guess.
Yeah,
Right?
I agree with that. I think that even the least intuitive signs, once they're in a situation where they're living with somebody or they know someone super duper well, like they're going to pick up on, especially if you're trying to like fake your vibe. Like with my husband, I right away now, like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I don't even try and fake my vibe most of the time with him
Can
because
can
I
you?
can't even do it. Um, but I agree with you that, and once again, I'm going to throw out water signs here that, that we are generally intuitive, can usually tell even when people we're not super close to are feeling some type of way. Probably especially Pisces. They're probably the most
Oh,
intuitive signs of all of
yeah.
us.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
they're on a whole
everybody
nother.
is, yeah. Uh-huh.
um,
Love
listen.
it.
Okay. Well, I think we should answer the one that Jam Rocket 2.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So Jam Rocket 2 says, "What's up, Jamaica?" Okay. So the energy all around is heavy. Girl, don't put that in shit in quotes. It's heavy. When is this shit gonna get summery and fun? Asking for everyone. LOL. Girl, you asking for the whole collective. We know.
Hmm.
So earlier we did talk about it is Gemini season. So I feel like this soon enough we will tend to feel
End of
lighter.
this week, I think things are going to be better. We're going
Yeah.
to get Mercury going direct. We will, kind of, we'll be in the waxing moon vibe. We'll have just gotten off the new moon. And, as we always say, you should use the new moon time to kind of set intentions. And then you'll start moving on them.
Yeah.
And the sun has fun in Gemini. It's and then we've got Venus in Taurus, we've got Mars in Aries, we've got planets in places where they feel good. Yeah, this you're right, goddess Goldie. This energy is dusty
Dusty
and
and
stank.
stank.
And frankly, we are not going to resolve like the craziness until we hit those other two eclipses in November. But we are going to get a break from it. We're going to get, I think, a break from the heaviness, and
Yeah,
we're
we're
going to
gonna.
we're going to get the chance to feel
Yeah.
hopeful again and do work and feel good about things and
Yeah.
enjoy the summer.
Yeah. I would say
Fall's
take.
going to give us some rough
Oh no,
stuff.
I would say take all the energy that we just experienced with this last eclipse, right? And we are still like in the last week of kind of just moving through a lot of that energy. So this week is a good kind of reflective week, even with tomorrow's new moon in Gemini. You know, good communication, good reflective week. But then like the summer, in the next couple weeks, it's gonna loosen up a little bit. I encourage you to be as socially safe as you can, because I think that's how we're really going to heal, is to get out there and be socially collective with each other and talk to each other, and because everybody's feeling it. No one is exempt. Okay, no one that's really with it is exempt. There are some people that we know are exempt, but we don't talk about them because they don't matter.
Right.
But no one is exempt from feeling what they feel, and we are getting there. But I would say, we're gonna enjoy the summer, but as Cassie said, come fall, we're gonna get that other opposite end of eclipses from Scorpio to Taurus. And so, for you, let me just speak up for you, Scorpios and Tauruses that had a very interesting eclipse season this time. Really take what you needed to do and learn from that moment, and really try and apply it as much as you can all the way through come fall, because once that Scorpio eclipse and Taurus eclipse happens, what you thought, it's going to change again, and it's going to happen again, because eclipses, that's how they happen in pairs, and so you need to have the conclusion of it. So right now is just kind of the start of the shakeup, and towards the fall season we'll see that. It's just better to just go with it. It's take your fixed energy and try it. No, I'm just kidding. Talk one fixed sign to another. Try and smooth it out. If you don't feel it as a Taurus, go walk on the earth. Go get in some water. Go be luxurious, go get your hair did, go get them nails did, like go really self nurture when you're not feeling like it. That's what I would highly recommend. I was about to say
I
it,
was about
Doris,
to
go with it.
Right. I was about to, yeah, I think that that's good advice. And I think because we do have, Venus in Taurus, Mars in Aries, Mercury will be in Gemini once it gets through its little Taurus, the end of its Taurus retrograde thing. Whatever your strength is, go with it. If you are somebody who has a lot of your Aries energy, Mars energy in your chart, like, and you're feeling active and feeling like kickboxing your way through to a hot girl summer, you should do that. If you're someone like me who has a lot of Taurus energy in your chart, and like I've been out in the earth making my space look pretty out on my deck and tending to my garden, and that has been giving me life. If you have Mercury prominent in your chart, you should be writing letters or calling folks, being social, like whatever it is. I think the vibe is going to be, by the end of this week, the places where you like, your energy is drawn, you're going to kind of start feeling like yourself again and be able to tap into that. And the state of the world notwithstanding, we have a lot of work on this planet and this country to do, but like we're all still entitled to have fun and, have our summer.
And the best way we can do that is by staying in our energy, the strongest energy that we can be in. It's not as easy for us to be shifted and moved if we stand strong in our energy. It's like Cassie said at the top, they want you to be in despair. They want you to feel hopeless. They want you to feel like nothing is gonna, and that's not true. That's not true. That's the way it appears, but the reality is that we're stronger than that. And, we got to use our energy for good.
That's right.
I tried to go into sunburn. Girl, sunscreen. Even black people put on sunscreen, girl. You need to wear that sunscreen.
It's true. Yeah. The sun is not playing anymore. It is not like when we were kids.
And
we put one sunscreen on. No.
And with that global issue that we're having with the planet.
Yeah. Should we hit the last question or go directly to the card?
I think we got to go directly to the cards. We're hitting that.
Okay.
We'll just save that question for next week,
That's right.
All right. So, I love this deck because I had a awesome friend tell me that I needed to give us a positive energy deck. So we are going to go with the Whispers of Lord Ganesha. One is, it's by Angela Hartfield, but the artwork, because I love the artwork on this, is by Ekaterina Golovanova. I had to do that a couple times. Right. So we love that. So these are all elephant energies. It looks like, let's see, it's Shawnee says, as a Leo, I definitely started writing letters to myself. Gotta be Goldie said it's a kid with a magnifying glass in the sky. He's full of attitude. This is a new son we got. You want to read us like you always do. First of all, before I pull these cards, I want to thank y'all for being so active in the chat and giving me a Cassie life, because we are inspired by y'all on the regular.
Yes.
So thank you for taking the time to sit with us, read us for filth. Girl, for filth and cleanliness, girl. What?
Yes, always reading for cleanliness, baby.
Listen, the library is never closed on the Zodiac Chatline. We just talk to the planets and they talk back to us. You know. Look, my ancestors been on one with this. They've been like, yo, today. Like, I know, guys. All right, here we go, guys. Let me get a card going. What we got? Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay. Joy!
Oh,
yay! It's perfect. I love it. Okay, let me make sure that we can all see this.
Wonderful.
Joy. I think that was the perfect. See, always. Look at the universe. All right, so we just talked about this. All right, ready, guys? Here we go. Joy. Joy is the state of the heart and soul. Joy happens when the heart and soul unite. This union is to achieve expansion for a greater good related to your divine path. Joy can create in you a sense of contentment, acceptance, and serenity. Even when your life is in flux, you feel a deep knowing that whatever might happen will be for the highest good of all involved. When you have this knowledge in you, it brings spiritual determination. Even through difficult circumstances, such as those that you may be currently undergoing, you will ultimately find your happiness. Through this card, Ganesha acknowledges your stress and exhaustion as you work to adapt to new patterns of behaviors and release your old stories. You may not be happy right now, but you can experience joy in knowing that striving through a difficult situation is important. You are urged to realize that you came into this lifetime to undergo certain experiences and to learn very specific life lessons. Be honest with yourself. Allow yourself your feelings and your emotions. Remember that if your heart is feeling wounded and its healing is taking place, you are likely grappling with deep feelings and sentiments that may have even been repressed in your for lifetimes. Share your thoughts, feelings, and emotions and anxieties with those who can support you at this time. Girl, what? Joy will be the final outcome. Your energy and inner light are shifting to reveal your life's grand plan. In this card, Ganesha holds garlands made of iruku flowers, which have the ability to eliminate negative energy from the body and mind of a person. In your mind's eye, make an offering of garlands made of iruku flowers to Ganesha. In exchange, Ganesha blesses you with good health and freedom from ailments.
Girl,
Every time.
we needed that one, everyone.
Every time. Shout out to Sunny Kid, Sunny Kid. That, I mean, like, for telling us we need joy. Flower from the reading, which it's like my higher self. Yes. Oh, yes. Y'all are on it. Do it in the chat. We love y'all. Really, y'all
This
know.
has been like the perfect new moon in Gemini. Like, just a happy vibe with you guys.
Yeah.
We love you all so much. Thank you for being here with us.
Listen, if you need, tomorrow's a new moon, so set your good intentions. If you need to shut down for a minute and get off of social media, please do so. Your mental health, and I think it is also Mental Health Awareness Month still, possibly.
Yeah,
so
a couple more days.
Your mental health, especially what's been going on, is vital, important. Please take care of yourself, nurture yourself. We love you. We will see you next week, y'all. After this new moon, listen, we're gonna have it. Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Emily. Thank you to all y'all lovely folks in the chat. You've been amazing. Cassie, as always, you are thebomb.com, and I love you forever, girl.
I love you so much, my moon sister angel tonight.
All right, y'all. It's all love as always. And what, Cassie?
Peace.